Hi, Jeremy Cordeaux in the Court of Public Opinion. I'm just on air here to let you know that we'll be live streaming the Court of Public Opinion every Friday between 9 o'clock and 12 on jeremycordeaux.com. Please join us. We'd love to have you.
What's that, boy? Dad! Over there! Is that a Yeti?
It's just his hair, son. At last! Saved after all these years! Stuck up this cursed mountain, licking moss with only a crow for a friend. How'd you find me?
Just walking the dog. Need a lift back down?
Run for a crow?
Adventures never far with the Land Rover Discovery Sport. Now £339 per month on Land Rover personal contract hire.
Oh, heated seats.
Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Initial rental £4,068. 48th month term. Subject status. 8,000 miles per annum. Conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of March. Participating retailers only. Such Land Rover offers.
Can the smartphone buzz mask the real deal? Sure, it can. So let's take 4 easy steps to become more open with each other. I'm Kari Watt. I'm a communications specialist, speaker and writer. And I'm here to be your digital coach, where I give you guidance on how to communicate better in your career and relationships, or on anything you want to ask me. Because communication is my thing, I want to see you become a better communicator, no matter where you are in the world, how old you are, or what you do for a living.
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Now, if you're new to my podcast, please subscribe to encourage that I'm actually making a positive influence. And if you're not new and haven't subscribed, come on now, what are you doing? Can you help a girl out? It's amazing what you witness when you sit still for 20 minutes to watch the world pass you by. In our digital landscape, people have become so disconnected with each other that they often miss the cues, such as someone flirting, for instance, or wanting to get to know you better. And the digital landscape that I'm referring to is anything you watch, read, or listen to on a smart device, laptop, or desktop. Now, the other day I sat in Hyde Park at lunchtime to witness approximately around 68 people walk past glued to their smartphones, reading social media or on FaceTime. Several people bumped into each other and mumbled, sorry. It was quite like watching bumper cars but without the laughs, although I did find this quite amusing. Granted, 10 years ago the norm was reading newspapers and at the end of the day watching television for 6 to 7 hours. Back then I couldn't even imagine watching TV for 1 to 2 hours per day. If I watched TV that much, my brain would burn from absolute boredom. I think that's an entrepreneurial thing. I'm not sure if that's the norm, but as an entrepreneur, you just feel like that is just insane amount of watching time. Now, Seth Godin, who is an entrepreneur, he's an author and public speaker, says that when you limit your watching time to 2 to 4 hours per week, you become 15 to 20 times more productive than anyone else. And by not watching TV gave him the space to do the things that make him seem insanely productive. I kind of follow suit because I feel TV is a luxury where you want to switch off and do absolutely nothing if you have the time. However, running your own business like I do whilst working for someone else and producing free content like this podcast leaves me very little time to do absolutely nothing. And on reflection, our society has become so heavily reliant on social media and smartphones and streaming that many of us have become seemingly obnoxious. And even myself at times where I've become thoughtless of others around me because I'm so time poor. For example, when meeting friends for dinner, many respond to text messages in the midst of conversation. Now, I think this is quite rude and it often portrays the image that the other person's time is not valuable to you. Another good example is listening to a colleague chatting with her mother on the phone while scanning Google for a recipe, yet she kept missing what her mother was saying about a family recipe that she was trying to share with her. Eventually, her mother hung up the phone because she was obviously tired of repeating herself. Now, my colleague ended up searching for a recipe her mother was trying to explain over the phone, and I calculated she could have completed the phone call in less than 5 minutes with a completed recipe and instructions. Instead, she wasted 30 minutes of her lunchtime because she wasn't paying attention. Now, it would be far better if you were to have a conversation with someone to stop everything else that you're doing and really pay attention. This means don't call when you're driving or out with friends having a meal. Give the other person, whether it be a telephone call or sitting in front of you, the time and consideration they truly deserve. Now, you need to think about it on these terms with everything you do. Does this interaction leave behind something I am proud of? In other words, are you being a good communicator? Do you value the person you're spending time with by listening and paying attention?
On the Kari Cares podcast.
So how do we effectively communicate? You know, when you're time poor and you're rushing around, when you're trying to get things done at work, effective communication is a must. It shows you have respect for your colleagues, manager or supervisor and your customers. Now, sharing ideas through words or writing may seem pretty simple, but there are many barriers that can impede the process. If you understand what barriers can stand in the way of your attempts at effective communication, you can actually sidestep challenges and engage in productive information sharing. Now, if you struggle with communicating at work for whatever reason, and don't worry, we've all been there. I used to struggle in speaking up at meetings, and now I run the meetings. So on that note, I do offer online communication courses that will give you the tools to help you become a much better communicator. Just get in touch with me on social media at Kari Watt on Twitter or my public Facebook page and send me a PM to ask me how, and maybe just let me know which podcast you've been listening to. So I think this is podcast 4. In the meantime, I'll cover the 4 key steps to communicating more effectively. Step number 1, be fully attentive. To communicate effectively, you must be fully present. Anything that distracts your attention serves as a barrier. Now, these distractions can come in many forms, such as physical, like a noise that can make the otherwise simple task of hearing the message really difficult. At other times, the distraction can be internal thoughts, like mind chatter, or you're stressed about, something else that you're working at, or you're thinking about someone, or you're in love even. I mean, that happens, doesn't it? Or an emotional response to the message that gets in the way of actually listening. Step number 2, take time to communicate. Now, I know that we're all time poor, but to communicate effectively does take time. When you hurry your response, thoughts and ideas, you run the risk of miscommunication. Step number 3, concentrate on the task at hand. When you multitask, like doing 2 or 3 things at once, you end up doing them very poorly. This may lead to you forgetting your train of thought. Stop doing this and complete each task one at a time. You'll notice that your work actually speeds up. Step number 4, keep eye contact. I know this can be difficult for some people because they want to look away, and when you do think, you often look to the right or to the left, however it is, up or down. But remember to try and keep eye contact as much as possible to be fully present.
On the Kari Cares podcast.
There's 9 times out of 10 when you speak to someone, you can see them zone out. If you feel yourself doing this, try and clarify what the person is saying. This enables you to reconnect with this person. Now, even if you find communicating tricky, it's possible to improve your communication skills. One of the most common problems is caused by trying to read a person's mind or expecting them to read yours. I wonder if you can get a job as a mind reader. Now, that would be a well-paid job, wouldn't it? Seriously. I wonder if there is. Let me know. Just send me a message on social media at Kari Watt, either on Twitter or my public Facebook page. Now, if you want people to respond to your ideas and needs, you have to be able to say what they are in a way that makes the other person respond positively. Just remember to listen to others and respond in a caring but sensitive manner. Put down your smartphone and really be present in the moment. You may just enjoy life a whole lot more. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe for some good vibes, and because it's free, give this away. Share it with friends or colleagues who could use a little help. Give it to them because they can listen to it privately, and it may significantly change the outcome of their lives. See you next time, because communication is my thing and now it's your thing. Well, I hope it's your thing. I hope it becomes your thing. Is it your thing?
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Hi, Jeremy Cordeaux in the Court of Public Opinion. I'm just on air here to let you know that we'll be live streaming the Court of Public Opinion every Friday between 9 o'clock and 12 on jeremycordeaux.com. Please join us. We'd love to have you.